So my thoughts on this week's question would be, I think that it would have both as like psychological and sociological factors would be major contributors to criminal behavior for many reasons. I mean, one, sociological factors. I mean, there's the social conflict theory that Karl Marx proposed, which that's just social life is a competition, and all of it focuses on distribution of power, wealth, and inequalities, and all of this makes it easier for conflict to exist, which would then create crime or create people who are willing to commit these crimes in order to get their point across. It also, I feel as if crime generates change. So it's almost a necessity. That's pretty much what the social conflict theory states as well. It's that crime is a necessity in order for society to function fully. Sociology is the study of people's interactions with society, and crime is just that. It's how people interact with negative stimuli or any other psychological or environmental conflict or change, which would increase a person's likelihood to commit the crime. I mean, people shoplift all the time. Sometimes they do it out of pure intent to just, they have to, which is like an obsession. Sometimes they do it because they were dared to. It's all this, I guess it's a big conglomerate of both. So for psychological factors, I mean, there could be many factors of that. I mean, sickness, which means illness, like psychological illness. You could be a kleptomaniac, you want to steal. You could be a psychopath, you want to kill. I mean, it's all of these would be immoral and according to law, as well as just our regular ethics. I mean, you could also have compulsions, irresistibility to do things, which is what kleptomaniacs are. You could have health issues, which influences you to do more stupid things because, hell, you're not going to live very long, right? There you can have personal trauma that snaps you, makes you change into something completely different. I mean, there's many factors. I mean, and last week, really good example. Last week we talked about serial killers and why they would have done that and like what we thought about that. And I mean, the video I was watching completely just was an analysis of why he did what he did. Like, what were the factors? What was going through his head? So any psychological factor, like why did he do it? And most of it was like just they have a lack of something in their brain. I mean, there's something missing there. So obviously that would be a psychological factor, which it would influence them to commit that behavior because they don't have the inhibitors that we have, like that we can stop and be like, oh man, I shouldn't do this kind of thing. Mainly just in general, I think that, just to restate it, I think both psychological and sociological factors cause crime regardless. I think that crime is definitely something that is never going to go away. It's always going to be there. It's always something that will contribute to society, and both good and bad, because crime is pretty much determined by the person in power. So regardless of if it would be morally wrong or not, it would still be a crime if whoever is in power would say so. So I feel that it would be both.